Record on this computer. All right. Well, hopefully it records, guys, because sometimes me and technology are just like not friends. But
it says it's recording on my end. So
yeah.
Okay, good. I'm gonna go into gallery view. Don't mind everyone. I literally have greasy mom hair. The day after Christmas, I decided that since no one does anything in December, the week after Christmas, that it was a good time to start potty training my child. So I did this potty training. I trained her in 5 days. I did like this 5-day program thing. And she's like 100% potty trained. So, but I'm like, have had no sleep. Like,
we did you did the nighttime too?
Yeah, she's only had one accident at night. Yeah, I literally was like, I'm done with pull-ups. I'm not buying them anymore.
We're not talking nighttime. He wakes up soaking wet, but we did the 3-day method. But yeah, he's fine, but he won't poop on the potty.
She won't poop either. That's the only thing, and I've been worried about it. So I've been like sticking her. Like normally I do a bath every other day, but I've been putting her in the bath every day because she seemed to only want to poop when she was in the bath.
I love how we're recording this right now.
I know, right?
Useful tips for all the moms out there.
Sorry for everybody watching the recording. Let's pull up the questions unless somebody already has them open.
I have them pulled. Well, I did have them pulled up.
I have them here.
Phone.
Yeah, we have a few here, but for the people who are here, do you guys have anything while we're live?
Shout out to you guys for being on. I know people are like dead right now. I don't know where everybody's. It's like a crazy time of year.
It literally is post-holiday hangover. It's like a thing.
I'm in my parents' basement, so that's why the lighting is crap.
Actually, so I see Tiffany who's on here. I see one of your questions in the comments. So guys, are we just basically like Cassie, Gina, are we just basically going to like each kind of chime in on the questions? Is that how we're gonna do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So Tiffany asked, when in your business did you notice a big shift and things really took off? What topics do you notice you get a lot of interaction with, posts or stories? And so I guess we'll just go one by one. Okay, so when in your business did you notice a big shift and things really took off? Oh goodness, I feel like it's different for everyone, honestly. And obviously feel free to chime in, guys. I feel like there's some coaches where like if they've already had a big social media following, like they might take off a lot quicker. Truthfully, like I'm someone where I still show up and I have to do the vitals every single day. I don't have to necessarily do 100 invites like I used to do when I first signed up as a coach. But I mean, I still every single week have to at least show up and do the vital behaviors to continue to build my business. And there's coaches, obviously, like you look like the Lindsay Matways and like those coaches where it's like, no, they're probably just making social media posts, but they also, and like, not that this is, I think, a justification, but they also signed up at a completely different time than we did, where like social media was completely different. And a lot of them built their business based off of like literally just posting about the 21-day fix on their Facebook page and then like built it that way, where obviously now so many people are building their businesses on social media. So it really has to be about targeting your specific person. And sometimes that takes longer than normal. It took me like 5 years to figure out like what my brand was and who I was speaking to in my audience. And the posts that I get people to enroll with like have truthfully nothing to do with Beachbody. And I was like, and I'm someone who like used to eat, sleep, I mean, I still do, eat, sleep, and breathe Beachbody. And all I ever posted about was Beachbody, Beachbody, Beachbody. But now I sign more people up based on like the things I post on mindset or fashion or like just like when I show up being like a hot mess mom. Like that's what my audience wants to see. So that's really what works for me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so the question, hey, Adrienne. So can you read the question again since she just
when in your business did you notice a big shift and things really took off?
Okay, so I don't feel like there's any time in anybody's business where it's like, boom, everything's like easy. That's never the case, but I definitely noticed a huge shift at 8 months for me. I went from like hardly getting anybody to join me to I finally got my cold market to see that I was serious because I posted every single day for 8 months. I never missed a post. I never didn't show up. And so that's when I started getting more attraction marketing. But I use that term loosely because even though I do attract a lot of people to my business, like they fill out my form or they reach out to me and ask me what I'm doing, I have almost always connected with them on some level before. So when I go look at our conversation, I'll be like, oh, I actually messaged her and thanked her for following me and reached out 6 months ago and she ghosted. Or, oh, I responded to her Instagram story, or she asked me a question on my story and I responded. So even, I would say my business right now is probably 50-50, 50% inviting, 50% attraction marketing, but it's not attraction marketing in the sense that I post and people come to me. I post, then I'm engaging with them about random shit that has nothing to do with Beachbody. And then when the time is good for them, they fill out my form or they ask me, or they see a call to action. So that's been working really well for me. Like I actually build relationships with people, which just takes time. But I've noticed for most of my coaches, it's around like the 8-month year mark is when like you can get into that cold market thing. And also I think it's a lot of mental. Like you can have an up level or a massive shift in your business the moment you change mentally. Like I started attracting business builders really easily this past year because I changed mentally to, I'm going to talk to people who want to build a business and that's it. Like Jesslyn was saying, I'm very specific with who I'm targeting. So when I make posts, I talk about how hard I work. I talk about that I only want hard workers. I exclude people who are lazy and I let them know I don't want lazy people. Like I'm so targeted in my talking that it repels people that I don't want on my team anyway. And I feel like because I'm not afraid to talk about that, it just got easier to attract those business builders. If that makes sense.
So for me, my story is a little different. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 6 years. I've only been doing Beachbody for 18 months. So because I was an entrepreneur beforehand, I started with a following. So I went from new coach to 1 star in 3 weeks because my wife and I build our business together. So I signed up first. She signed up under me. So we built Me to Diamond and Her to Diamond at the same time. We then hit 2-star a few, like maybe 2 months later, but we coasted at 2-star for a year because we we found a lot of coaches, but they weren't like actual like business builders, hustlers. It wasn't until this fall when we went from 2 to 5-star where we finally got the hustlers. And for us, it was like a big shift in our mindset where we used to say yes to everyone. And then we set the standard, like where I literally will say to somebody, like, I don't think this is a good fit. Because I don't want just anyone on my team. We had a girl recently go from 0 to Diamond in 3 weeks. She was a brand new coach to Diamond in 3 weeks because that's who we were like talking to. We're talking to the hustlers, to the go-getters. And when she signed up with me, I said to her, what's your goal? She's like, I don't know. I said, your goal is Diamond in 3 weeks, because that was the cutoff for qualification for this fall, or this quarter. And so that for me, when I made that shift of, I didn't think Elite was possible this year. I was on a retreat in October with my coach, and I was like, I just don't think it's possible, but I'll shoot for a premiere. And then by the end of the weekend, I'm like, no, you know what? We're going for it. And so when I decided that was what was going to happen, my action and my energy shifted, and my entire business completely shifted as well as my teams. My team saw that excitement, that momentum, that fire. And even though we've been, trying to get the fire under them for a while, sometimes it just takes a different attitude, a different way of talking, a different way of thinking. So I think that it can take time to find your business builders for sure, because people also need to see you stepping up and stepping into that leadership role, where that can sometimes take a little bit of time, because a lot of people are brand new to entrepreneurship, and you're kind of just quietly trying to find your footing. But when you can confidently stand into that, no, I'm a leader, this is my business role, I think you then show up differently for people.
Love that. So I think that you kind of answered her next question. I think we all kind of answered it. Her next question was, what topics do you notice you get a lot of interaction on with your posts? And I think honestly for us, it's really just like talking to that person. Yeah.
Mine is all life. Mine is all gay stuff because I'm married to a woman. So it's like that and fertility. Just talking about fertility and our struggle with fertility and how I've used these workouts to help me through that time. That's like what gets me the most interaction. It's real life, but then that can convert to a conversation about Beachbody.
Yeah. So mine was when I was pregnant, my Instagram was super engaging, which was my biggest fear. I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. My business is going to like explode. And it did explode in the best way because it's tons of engagement. So lifestyle posts, now that I'm not pregnant, It's usually like I try to ask a question at the end of every single post, but I try to make it a question I would want to answer. So I'm not going to ask like, hey, did you get your workout in today? I'm going to ask, mommies, how did you like handle teething with your 10-month-old or something like that? Super specific to my market. And I've also found marriage. When I post about my husband and I, or a picture of Corey and I, people freaking love it. I don't know why, you know, but those do the best for me right now. So lifestyle posts. Your page should be maybe 25% Beachbody, coaching, business, and, you know, the fitness side, and then like 75% everything else, because you can share your workouts and everything in your stories. They don't want to see that on your feed because that just screams Beachbody and they're going to be totally unengaged. I think
yeah,
like 2 years ago, it could be a lot more Beachbody, but it's really shifted. So.
Yeah, I don't think I post like really anything fitness related like on my wall anymore. I always just do it in my stories. But the engagement that I get is different on Facebook versus Instagram. So something I read this year and it really spoke to me, because I think like 2 years ago it was all about like funneling, like get like people on your Facebook to funnel to your Instagram, and like it's all about funneling. Where like this year I feel like it's like give the people what they want on the platform that they want it on. Like my Facebook page, it's like people love to see like my fitness related stuff, but on my Instagram, like they're fine with that in my stories, but like on my feed, like they want to see me in like a cute outfit, or they want to see like not fitness on my wall. It took me a really long time to get okay with that, because I was like, this doesn't feel right. Because for like 5 years, it was like vital behavior post, vital behavior post, vital behavior post, and now it's just like vital behaviors in my stories. So, you know, really just, I would say look at your insights and see like what your audience likes on that specific platform, and then give them what they want on that platform. The next question was, when going to follow new people that you search for, do you reach out right away and make combos with them? And how do you start that combo? I will let you guys take that away.
So for me personally, I don't follow a lot of new people. So I don't do the 5-3-1, like it's not my thing. But so for me, what I do is that any new person that follows me, I send them a message. If they are a woman that looks like they're in one of the right countries. And I say to them, I literally say, hi, name, you know, thank you so much for following me. I love getting to know new people. What inspired you to follow along? That's it. And then I wait for them to answer. And, you know, sometimes it'll be, oh, like, you know, I'm looking for, you know, health and fitness advice. A lot of it is, you know, I'm also in a same-sex relationship and I'm just like looking for ways to navigate that. And, or I'm going through fertility stuff right now. So I have kind of my own segues of how whatever they say, I can circle it back to Beachbody and how it's helped me in my life. Not the next comment, of course, like I try to engage a little bit with them, but I don't reach out to somebody first unless they have followed me. So that's my way of doing it.
Yeah, mine's the exact same way. So I reach out to any new followers I have. And my message is always like, hey, their name. I hope you don't mind this random message. I like to start with that because people seem to say, I hope you don't mind. So I hope you don't mind this random message, but I want to say thank you for the follow. I love connecting with other positive women on social. And then I ask a question related to their page. If their page is private, the question's usually more like, what brings you to my page? Or are you in fitness too? Like whatever I'm in the mood for. But I say if I can see their page, I try to make it I find on their page. And as far as adding followers, I'm not somebody who can just post and like people swarm to me and I get followers. I have to work to build my following. So I don't do the 513 very much. But what I do is I follow 100 to 200 people a day. It takes me maybe 15 minutes out of my day. It doesn't take long at all. And then anybody who doesn't follow me back, I unfollow over time. But if they follow me, then I keep following them.
Love that. So I think first of all, like I think for everyone on here, like you have to do what feels good for you. Like if you're someone where like sending a cold invite doesn't feel good to you, then, you know, send a message that helps you build a relationship with them first. If it feels good to you, it's going to feel good to your audience. And also like you're attracting people that are like you, right? So for me, I'm someone where like in this, I feel like I'm the minority on this. Like I hit everyone right away with the cold invite. I do, like, to me, I'm like, I hate small talk. I have limited time in my day running 2 businesses with a kid. So what I do is I probably confuse the shit out of people, but I will just randomly message people that have liked any photo of mine. If they've liked a photo of mine, I'll be like, hey, thank you so much for the love on my transformation post. I'll put their name in there. But they've engaged on something. They're not going to go back and look to see what picture that they liked. So I literally will say, thanks for engaging on my transformation post. And I'll comment something about their page too, so they at least they know I went and looked at their page. But honestly, that has always worked well for me. It worked for me in the beginning of my business. It works well for me now, but that doesn't work for a lot of people. But because that's the person I'm attracting people that they're freaking busy too. They don't want to pussyfoot around with weird ass conversations about the freaking weather. I just hit them with the cold invite and it works. I don't follow people. I've actually lost. I used to do I used to invest in different services. I've actually lost a ton of followers this year, and I've gotten better engagement and I've gotten more of my target audience from it. My thing is I just show up as the person that I want to attract. I'll follow people whose pages that I like. But I think it's all up to what feels good to you. And to me, I will get an organic following based off of just posting to the person that I'm speaking to. I think you still have to build your following if you're building your business and you're new. But also take into consideration you want to be attracting a legit following. So getting to 10,000 followers is great because with the swipe up feature and all of those added bonus things. But if you're just getting random people that look like they live in the Middle East and they're holding guns, and that's the people that are attracting your following because you're outsourcing, it's not the same as getting someone that lives a very similar lifestyle to you or looks like you 6 months ago or looks like the person that you want to be 6 months from now. Who is it that you want to build a following with and speak to her? And if you want to go out and follow people and do the 531 and that works for you, that's great. If you want, I love what she just said about she just follows, did you say 120 people a day? I love that. So I was find it pretty, that's not nice. Go through, find people that fit your brand and then follow them and, do the unfollow method. But that's what I say to people and it works. And they never have said, I didn't like one of your transformation pictures because they're never going to go back and look. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I probably double tapped it. And it always works. So, next question was, what worked for you in your boot camps to have people engage and have them post and comment? Ooh, I feel like this is different every single month. So I guess while my child is still cooperating, I'll go. So for me, I run an ongoing boot camp. I will basically, every new client of mine gets added to my ongoing boot camp. And I do a 21-day mini challenge within the ongoing boot camp. So people that aren't on their Shakeology, that don't stick with the performance line, my promise to them is if they buy one challenge pack, they'll always be in my boot camp. However, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to qualify to be in my 3-week mini challenge that is in my ongoing boot camp. So every single month I'll do a special incentive. So for obviously 21 days of fitness, everyone did some sort of prize incentive, which I think fitness is usually really good for engagement. But for January, I'm doing a weekly $25 cash prize giveaway. And then at the end of the group, anyone that has 90 PV or more, or a new client who enrolled in the challenge pack, as long as they fill out I'm doing a virtual bingo board, and as long as they fill that out, they'll be entered to win a $100 grand prize at the end of the challenge. Those seem to really motivate my people because I'm super motivated by money. So a lot of my coaches and my clients are motivated by money. So if I'm hey, you show up you show up 5 days a week, you do this, 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 and this, you can win cash in your pocket. So I do some sort of mini incentive. As a newer coach, obviously maybe $25 a week might not be the best idea, or you collaborate with a success partner or other coaches that are working the business in your team and you guys go all in and you pull together for something. But I think you have to gauge month to month, and you have to base, so if something didn't work for you last month, then switch it. If it's boring to you, it's going to be boring to them. And if it feels fun to you, it's going to feel fun to them. So I go month to month, and I have an ongoing boot camp. And every time I try to split up my boot camps, it's just a hot mess and no one ever enjoys it. So I always say the more the merrier, but some people like small and like intimate, and I'm like, I want big and lots of engagement. So that's me.
So yeah, you're gonna hear like 1,000 ways to do everything. You guys have to find what works for you, because I did an ongoing one for years, and then like 3 months ago, I switched to every single month. In order to be in my group, they need something 50 PD. I don't care if it's 7 boxes of beach bars. I don't give a shit. As long as you're investing. And I tell them this, I'm honest with them, and I say, this is because if you don't invest in this, I know you're not going to show up. And I got sick of running ongoing boot camps with a whole bunch of girls every month who took advantage of my time but didn't do shit. I was over it. So I switched to this. It's the best decision I made all year. Because I have required them to invest in it, they show up. And then because they're showing up and excited, I'm showing up. So it just feeds on the energy, and I'm going live more, and I'm really showing up for them and coaching them the way I would want to be coached. And before, I had so many people, I didn't know who was actually involved, like who actually cared. I just felt like I wasn't helping them. So most of my girls do stick with me month, because we develop like a really good bond and a really close relationship. I know what PD books they're reading. I know when their kid's being potty trained. I know them. And it's actually helping me kind of teach them to become coaches too. So a lot of them, I was a slow starter in the business for sure. So I feel like that's my girl too. Like a lot of my people are kind of slow. And so it helps me kind of groom them before they even sign up as a coach. So that's what I do. But to keep things more engaging, I do giveaways every single week, like Energize, Starbucks gift card. I also have a Facebook chat. I just started that this month. So everybody, I think I have like 20 girls in my December boot camp. And so I just put them all in a Facebook chat. And so we're active in our group together, but I also message them every day. Like, hey, here's the dinner I made tonight. Or, hey, $5 gift card for anybody who gets their workout in today. I do that like randomly every now and then just to keep engagement. So that's what's been working for me. Last but not least, I go live in my challenge group. This month I haven't as much because I'm running like a really big one. But in my small intimate groups that I'm running with just me and like my 10 challengers that month or whatever, I go live like 2 or 3 or 4 times a week, because they're paying for us. They're paying for you as a person, and they want to hear from you. And if they've invested at least $50 to be a returning client, I want to give them my time. That's the least I can do. And I'm happy to do it because they've invested, like I said. So I feel like going live with my girls has been super helpful. And when I go live, I don't just talk about like surface level shit. I go deep. Like I talk about limiting beliefs. I talk about subconscious beliefs. I do live meditations in my, Jesslyn gets this, but I do meditations in my boot camp. Like, hey guys, I'm popping in at 8. I'm going to do a meditation for you guys. So I get weird because those are my people and they like it.
Love the weirdness so much.
So we run one large, challenge group as well. When we first started, we did like every month was a different challenge group. It was like a 21-day fixed group, a lift 4 group, a quarter force group. And then it was just too many groups to keep track of. And then you do lose engagement. So for us, we found that one giant virtual fit club works best for us. We don't do giveaways in ours. I just don't have the energy or desire to manage that right now. But for us, so we invested in a service that provides you with graphics to post every single day. So, and then we schedule them out. So every single day there's a post, and it's either a recipe, a Shakeology recipe, a challenge, like a fitness challenge, something to do with health and fitness, because it is a Beachbody subscription, not through Beachbody. But so for us, that is a good way to make sure that we're touching them every day. We do go live. We haven't done it like a consistent once a week type situation, but in the new year, that is a commitment that we are doing, that we're going to go live at least once a week. We do a client newsletter. So anybody who signs up with us that buys a challenge pack, they get added to our client newsletter. So we haven't been as consistent doing it weekly, but again, that's another goal in the new year, to every single week be sending a newsletter to our clients. When we first started, we were individually messaging people every single week that were in our challenge groups, just to like check in privately, but that got to be too much when there was like so many people. So we started doing success pods where it would be 10 people to a Facebook chat. And then they had like a tracker, and they had to post daily their tracker that they got their workout in, they got their shakes, their nutrition. That was so successful. And these girls developed like really good bonds, because while they were in a really large group together, this was just 10 people. in a specific pod that we would just run for a program. And then a lot of them now have become accountability buddies on their own because they've developed friendships through those pods. But what we've done it changes all the time based on, kind of what people need. Obviously, there's more engagement with the new program, and with BAR coming out, I think there'll be a lot more engagement because more people are, excited about doing it, and they're all starting at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, so Jesslyn, you're good, girl.
I have the next one.
What was that?
Do you want me to read the next one, or do you have it?
Oh, Jesslyn typed it. It's how do you bring up coaching to your clients? So I just bring it up to my clients. I say, girl, have you ever thought about doing what I do? Sometimes you overcomplicate shit. Just ask them, hey, girl, you're killing it in my challenge group. Have you ever thought about being a coach? She's likely going to tell you no. It's bullshit. She's thought about it. So you just need to pump her up and believe in her, because they're full of it when they say, oh, no, I've never thought about that. I can guarantee you they've thought about it. So I always just give them confidence, and I start to kind of figure out what their limiting belief is, and then I work with them on that. So one of my girls right now, who's been a challenger of mine for 4 months, would be an amazing coach, but she has a very big fear of posting on social media. So when she rejected me for coaching probably 4 times, by the 5th time, I was just like, Amber, what is going on? You told me you think it would be fun. And she's like, I'm just so scared of posting and what my friends from high school think. So I recommend PD specifically related to that. And it's on her to do it. I'm not going to hold her hand, but she's been doing it. And then I'm just every now and then just breadcrumbing, hey, you'd be good at this. Or anytime I'm running a sneak peek, I just ask if she wants to fly on the wall. I make it really casual. I never pressure them. It's up to them when the timing is good for them. But that's how I do it. I ask every single one of my clients too. I don't look to see, oh, they're killing it in my challenge. Even if they're not killing it, even if they're quiet in my challenge group, I'm going to ask them about coaching, because I'm the person who didn't post shit in the challenge group, and look at me now. You know what I mean? So I wasn't super into the challenge group thing, but I was very into coaching. So I don't assume this won't be for anybody. I ask almost everybody, unless I think that our personalities aren't quite right, and she's not somebody that I would want on my team.
Yeah. So we require a form when you even join our boot camp. So we have people fill out a form, which has drastically changed our business. It's amazing because we have everything in there. What add-ons do you want? I used to just be like, okay, what shake flavor? Now it says, do you want shakes? Do you want pre and post workout? Do you want beach bars? Do you want energized? Do you want power greens? Do you want digest? It has we list everything that they can add on, and people just start tacking things on that they want to add. So now we're getting them hooked on more products. But one of the questions is, are you interested in learning more about the business opportunity? So it's now right up front, putting that in their mind that this is an option for them. So, it'll say, sure, maybe later, or no. So for anybody who says sure or maybe later, we now know, okay, these people are interested or potentially interested down the line. So we're constantly going back through our forms and inviting people that did the maybe later to our whatever sneak peek we're running at the time.
Oh my God, I love that so much. I'm literally going to have my VA add that to my website and send that to people. So good. No, that's really good. So honestly, I hit everyone honestly with coaching right off the bat. To me, I'm just someone where I see coaching no matter what is money in your pocket. I signed up right away as a coach, even though I knew I was working the business, but I was also broke AF when I enrolled as a coach. So either way, even if I didn't know that I loved Shakeology, I'm so glad that I enrolled as a coach just for the discount, no matter what. So I always will give the coaching opportunity right up front. I'll say, hey, this is what the coaching opportunity is. This is what you do. This is how I can help you get there. If that's not for you, that's okay. You can still be a coach, and you don't ever have to sell anything a day in your life. You can simply just benefit from the discount. And I send them a graphic. And usually 9 times out of 10 people will enroll as a coach, and they will usually almost always stick with it. And a lot of them will continue to stay active month after month. I also, again, am one of those people, I sign up almost everyone based off of the performance line. I like Shakeology because my body needs it. I don't love it. So I'm very honest. with the people that I'm enrolling. And I think that really helps them like build trust in me. And they're like, oh, she's not just trying to get me to sign up as a coach on her team to like get another notch on her belt. She's being super honest, you know, like she doesn't love this product, but she loves these products and she's drinking them and using them every single month after month. And literally the performance line, like no fail, everyone is consistently active when they sign up with it. So it really is about like just like figuring out like what is it that you like and what is it that like your potential coaches and clients are gonna love. And in terms of like my clients that decided not to enroll as coaches, I always just follow up with them like, you know, right before their reshipment. I have an Excel spreadsheet that I use and it really just kind of helps me keep like my mind in order. And every single week I just fill it out and I fill out like their enrollment date. And then since I check the tracker weekly, I'll be able to see like, oh, in a week their reshipment is going to be up. And then I'll just shoot them a message and I'll be like, hey, you've been doing really well in the boot camps. How are you enjoying the products? And usually I know because I'm checking in with them. But from there, they'll be like, oh my God, like either yes, I love the products or I'm not sure. And then from there, I'll kind of break down, okay, well, why aren't you sure? Are you not sure because of the price? Is that what's scaring you? Or are you not sure because maybe you don't love the products? My child just shut off the lights. Are you not sure because you feel like if you sign up as a coach, you have to build a business, you have to sell something? And I'll really break that down for them. And I always send voice notes. I do make sure I follow everything up with a text because I'm someone where I like to see things in print. But let people hear your voice. Let them hear your enthusiasm and let them, build that trust through your voice. Like if you sound like you are authentic and excited, they're going to be excited as well. So that's how I do that. You gotta go potty again? Okay. The next question that we had is...
I can pull it up. I see one from Allison.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay. I got it, okay. So Allison, who is here on the call, had said, say you message someone and invite them to your group and they either never read it or they read it and don't respond. Do you reach out to them again? And if you do you say something else or do you ask them the same thing again? So for somebody who doesn't read the message, I sometimes don't always follow up because if they're not following you, it's going to go into their other messages, right? And there are some people who don't know how to use that on Facebook or on Instagram. So sometimes I will follow up once and I'll say something like, hey, I know, and it's actually the same thing that I would say to the other person, like, hey, I know that sometimes Instagram messages can fall through the cracks, so I just wanted to follow up with you and see if you had a chance to see my message above. If they never read that one again, I don't message them again. But at this point right now, I rarely message somebody that's not following me just because I know that it's probably going to go into that other folder. So if I see someone on Instagram that I'm like, this person would be an amazing coach, I make sure that I follow them and then I like a post and comment on it. But I'm typically at this point now where I'm not really following people. I'm just messaging the people who are following me. So that's kind of how I handle that one.
So if somebody has, I follow up with everybody. If somebody's seen it and they don't respond, I'm still following up. But usually I follow up in a way where I'm just getting them to respond. I'm not trying to invite them typically because they've seen it and they're not responding. So I usually just follow up with like, hey, Emily, I just wanted to say it's not always easy to put myself out there, but people like you make it worth it. And I just really appreciate all the support on my page. I hope you're doing well. Really, really simple. Sometimes I will follow up with like, let's say I invited them and then we kind of talked and then they ghosted me and they never really finalized joining my group. Then of course I follow up and I say, hey, Emily, I just want to check in because I'm starting up my January Fit Club really, really soon. I want to, check in with you before spots filled up. I hope you don't, how did I word mine today? I was like, I followed up with this girl like 6 times and I was like, not sorry for following up so much. I don't give up on people and I know this can help you. And I was just being genuine. Like I don't give up on people and I know I can help her. And she's somebody I went to high school with. She's super sweet. And so I'm just blunt. Like I talk the way that I talk and I don't overthink it because the right people, guys, will not pass you by. What's meant for you will not pass you by. So all this overthinking is just a waste of time because if they're meant to be in your business, they will. And I live with that faith, that trust. And so I don't have to worry about it. Like if I send a message and it's not well received, then they weren't my person. It's an abundant universe. It doesn't matter what you say. the right person is going to resonate with your invite or your follow-up, and you don't need to overthink it. You just need to send it and not worry about it, like bless and release it.
And people will message me back and they'll be like, I'm so sorry, I totally forgot to respond to you. Like, people aren't always intentionally ignoring you. A lot of times it's life. Like, a lot of times my son will have my phone and then I miss a message. Like, it's not, so if you think of it that way of like, oh, maybe they really genuinely just forgot to respond, then I think it makes it easier to follow up. We follow it up and also I'm of the mindset that I'll follow up with you 8 times. If you're not saying no, to me, that's still a maybe.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, even if they are ghosting you, still follow up with them. One of the girls who's in this group, she was actually just on this call earlier, but I know that her kid is in cheerleading. She literally reached out to me like almost a year ago, ghosted me every single month after that. I followed up with her religiously. And then one month I was like in Florida on vacation, and she shot me a message and she was like, hey girl, like, I'm ready to, I did Beachbody on demand through like a friend just because I got it for like almost nothing. And immediately I could tell like the money fears were like creeping in. And so I immediately shared my story with her to like give her peace of mind. And I was like, hey girl, like I was in this exact same spot as you. And now first month as a coach, Success Club 12, like pushing like a freaking mofo to get her 6th coach so she could get that freaking sweatshirt in this group. Like literally gonna like end the month as, with 6 coaches, like her first month as a coach, killing it. And she was afraid. And like, it was just because she was afraid because, right? Like some people, like they're not ignoring you because they want to be assholes. They're ignoring you because they have some sort of fear and they're afraid that if they reach out to you and they can't afford it, that they're gonna look silly, or that if they failed in the past and they can't commit, that they're gonna look silly. And like sometimes we just forget like the fears that we used to have. So just always reassure them, like, I know, right? Just always reassure them, like, I was there once too. And if they are ignoring you or like not giving you a response back, just know that 9 times out of 10 it's not because they're doing it on purpose to be mean or, to purposely ignore you. They're either just afraid or they're busy with life. Until they tell you to leave them the F alone, follow up. I always do I'll follow up for 3 months in a row every single month, and then the 3rd month I'll push it out 3 months, and then after that I'll push it out 6 months, and after that I'll push it out a year and just continue to engage on their posts. Having a tracking system I think is really important for that as well. And I'm so not organized. I'm type B and I try so hard to be type A, but just find something that feels good to you so that you can, stay on top of the follow-ups even if you think that they're like ghosting you. So yeah, I think I covered that. Was that the last question? Was Allison, or was there one more?
Somebody just posted, Tammy just posted a question that said, I can read it if you want.
Okay.
She said, what do you do when somebody straight up comments or messages you, how do I sign up? You tell them and then they disappear. How many times do you follow back up? I think we
You never tell them. I get so pissed about this. If somebody says, how do I sign up, and you haven't talked to them, no, you do not tell them. If somebody says, what's the price? You do not tell them. You do not tell them, guys. The only reason they're asking you what the price is so they can deny you and like shut you down and tell you they can't afford it. I guarantee you. Like, I promise you. Sorry, I get really pissed about this because it's like the worst. So if somebody messages me and they're like, hey girl, how can I sign up? Well, this is actually an application process. There's a leader and a follower in every conversation, and I am a leader. So you do not just get to sign up with me. I'm going to interview you, and if you qualify, you can sign up with me. That's posture, guys. Okay, that's the posture you need to have. This is your business. Nobody just gets to sign up because they feel like it. So if somebody messages me, and I get those messages for sure, I'll say, hey girl, I'd love to chat with you and see if you'd be a good fit for our group. Write that down because I say that to everybody. I'd love to chat with you and see if you'd be a good fit for our group. And then I just ask them some questions like, do you have a specific weight loss goal? And I ask them one at a time. I'm not asking them in one big clump. So I'll say like, are you on a fitness journey now, or do you have a specific weight loss goal? Wait till they answer. And then I'll say, what kind of workouts are you into? And then they answer. How much time can you work out? And then they answer. And then the last question I ask them, and this is key, is awesome. Thank you for answering all those questions. I just have one more question for you, and this is going to be kind of weird, but it's really important that I know. Why do you want this? what would your life look like in 30 days from now, 60 days from now, and 90 days from now? What would you do? And who would you be if you achieved those goals we talked about? Because if you can get them thinking about the person they could be and their big reason for doing this, they almost always, if they answer that question for me, I know I've hooked them. Like they've really thought about it. They get emotional with me. They'll be like, I'm sick of not being able to walk up the steps and I can't keep up with my kids and I'm embarrassed to turn the lights on when I have sex with my husband. Like they'll tell me all this stuff. And that is exactly how you hook them in. So if you guys want to know the exact process that I follow, if you go on YouTube and you search Andrea Crowder closing with class, she's the person who taught me all of this and made me really good at sales. It's a very good, it's in the closing with class training, Jesslyn. If you go watch that, it is incredible. It is the reason I went from barely hitting Success Club to like SC 20 to 30 every month, because I learned how to have posture. So if somebody asks you for information, you interview them, and then after they tell me their why, then I'll say, awesome, like I've loved chatting. I think you'd be a great fit for our group. I'd love to offer you a spot. Does that make sense? And then if somebody asks for like, hey, I want to join your group, how much is it? Hey girl, again, same thing. I'd love to chat and see if you'd be a good fit. The cost depends on your goals. Can we talk about those and see, if you'd be a good fit for our group? I never give information until they've told me all of their goals and their why, because I can guarantee 99.9999% of the time, they're just going to ghost you and never sign up with you. Okay, and Rant, sorry if anybody else wants to talk. I get really pissed about it.
I was going to piggyback off your Andrea Crowder statement just really fast. Also, Andrea Crowder is a great follow. When I first was a coach, she used to trigger the heck out of me because she talks a lot about money. Guys, Andrea Crowder is a great follow. And also, you can find Amanda Francis through Andrea Crowder. Amanda Francis is not a coach. She's a mindset mentor, and she's amazing AF, and her and Andrea Crowder work together. Literally, if she triggers you, you need to follow her, because that's where your money mindset is, and that's probably a huge reason why you're also not hitting Success Club. Because money mindset and like understanding the value behind things and understanding that it's literally just $160. Like people view $160 as $1 million. Y'all need to follow Andrea Crowder and Amanda Francis for that, like legit. And I'll post them in our group. But yeah, so it's called Closing with Class, Cassie. Okay, I'm gonna type that. I'll let Gina go. Sorry, Gina. You go.
That's okay. It's Jenna, by the way. Yeah, no, everybody does it. It's totally fine.
I think we covered this too. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you guys, Amanda Francis is the bomb. I'm a lawyer, and she's one of my clients, and I love her.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
She's one of your Beachbody clients?
No, I'm a lawyer.
Oh my God. I literally love Amanda Francis. I'm obsessed with her.
I love her. I do some of her stuff, not all of her stuff. She's good.
What a small world.
Love her. I love her. I love everything you guys just said. So, yeah, I never, if somebody messages me, how do I sign up? Never, ever, ever. I'm like, here's the link. I'm always like, you want to ask questions. And we always teach our girls that no matter who you're talking to, you always want to ask questions. You want to get answers. You want to find their pain point, and you wanted them to put it in their own words so that you can then go back to them with their own words of this is why they want it. And you have the solution to their problem. That's what we're always offering. That's what we are. We are providing a solution to a problem. And so you need to know what their problem is first. You can't just offer somebody something, if you don't know what their problem is, because maybe there's somebody who's not into working out. Maybe they're a great to-be mindset candidate. So you don't just want to push something on someone. So I love, love, love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not I know there's some coaches who are like, okay, everybody gets the new program this month. Everybody signed up with Bar. Like one of my SPs does that, and she's amazing with it. I don't do that. I get to know them, and if I don't think Bar is a good fit, I'll recommend what I do think is a good fit, and it's not always the product of the month. It's whatever genuinely I feel would help them. Do you do that via IG or Facebook, or is this via email? My interview is wherever they are. I do try to get people's email a lot because it's wherever they are. I try to make it really simple. I've tried to be like, okay, girl, let's take it to email. But then I sometimes lose people. So I'm cool with wherever we're at. I don't really overcomplicate it. I'm like, cool, we're on IG. I'll just talk to you on IG.
Yeah, I've always found that I never want to switch platforms because people drop off and you lose them. And if I'm in the middle of a conversation, I want to keep it going.
I'm terrible at email, so I also just never use email. Whatever works for you. Like Emily Favre said it like on like one of her like in one of the Beachbody Champion pages. She's like, I want my business to feel easy for my coaches. She's like, so I do what feels easy for me. So like if the conversation is on Instagram, I keep it in Instagram. If it's on Facebook, I keep it on Facebook. And I was like, that was a game changer for me because I was like, I had to be like this like super professional, like, oh my God, what's your email? Send everything via email. But like to me, I'm someone where I'm like, I hate checking my email. So naturally the person I'm gonna attract probably doesn't like to check their email either. Right? So like literally I'm like boom, boom, boom. And like, or I'm also someone where I love like text message is just easy for me. So I'll ask them right after that. I'll be like, hey, are you like fine keeping this conversation in Facebook Messenger? If not, like if text message is easier, then we could totally text message. And like the cool thing about that is like a lot of people like to get emails because like in case Facebook or Instagram were to ever go away, so I always think like if Facebook and Instagram were to go away, like I have a phone list. And like people are so much to me, I'm like my people are so much more likely to respond to a text message than they would be for an email. So you know, do what feels good for you. And Cassie's like, I will not text, and see, and I do. So I did see that.
I cringe when people are like, "Oh, I'll text you," and I'm like, "Oh God."
I would so much rather have that. But I did see that Tammy asked me a question above, and it was, what do I say to them when I cold message? So it's literally something along the lines of like, hey, whatever their name is, thank you so much for giving me love on my transformation post. It means so much to me. I was just checking out your page and I saw that you are like, if they're on a fitness journey, I'll say fitness journey. If they went on a vacation, I'll say something about their vacation. Like, oh my gosh, like that sounds so amazing. I'd love to know more about you. And then like I'll insert something about what my post said. You know, does that something that interests you? And I wasn't sure if you were just showing love or if you were really interested in getting more info on the challenge. And usually they'll be like, oh, you know what? Like I was just showing love, but like, can you send me info on the challenge? Like it kind of like makes it easier for them. So I'll be like, you know, were you just showing love or like, did you actually want info? Like I didn't put anything like that in the caption. I wasn't like, oh, like my post for info. Like, but they don't know that because they're not going to go back and look. So it literally is just like a nonchalant way of being like, hey, were you just showing love? If so, that's great. Thank you so much. If not, did you want me to send you info? And usually they'll be like, oh, yeah, send me the info too. And like, I'm always so surprised because a lot of them will be like, oh my God, this is great. Like, and then you start the interview process. And my interview process is very similar to that. Like, if I get like a cold message where someone is like, hey, like, you know, like I'm ready to sign up. I will always, and this is because one of my top coaches ever, when she first signed up, she signed up for the discount. And she said to me like a year later, she said, the one reason that I followed through with signing up with you is because when I reached out to you, you didn't just try to like get me to sign up right away. She's like, you asked me like 5 super detailed questions about what my goals were, if I had any restrictions, what like my vision for like my life was, and like seemed to like genuinely take an interest in who I was and like what my goals were. You never know who else these people are talking to. They could have messaged 20 other Beachbody coaches and they're just trying to find the person that they click with the most. And these questions could be like the game changer for you. Where like, they're like, wow, this person actually took like that extra effort to figure out what was good for me, not just what was good for them. So that was my little add.
Love that. Was that the last one?
I'm not sure. Allison, I saw that you had commented on the post from last week. Were those questions already answered in last week's call? I know sometimes like the comment section, like the questions get like put before the link, even if they were posted after the link. So I just wasn't sure, Allison, if your questions from last week were answered too.
I know that last week, so Jordana did last week, so I know that she said that they weren't able to answer all of them because they had a billion of them.
Okay.
So
yeah, I saw
the last couple they didn't get to.
Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't Allison, it was Tammy. It was Tammy. Okay, so Tammy had questions from last week, and I wasn't sure if they were answered. Tammy, it was, how do you serve your clients, coaches who are allergic to ingredients in Shake Out, Energize, and Recover? Do you have any nutrition-only clients? How do you serve them? What about male clients? Were those answered for you, Tammy? No, they weren't answered? Okay. Okay, so I guess do we want to just like rapid fire? Like I'll answer one, Jenna, sorry, you answer one, and then Cassie, you answer one. All right, I will take the first one. So how do you serve your clients and coaches who are allergic to ingredients and shake out, energize, and recover? So truthfully, I'm always like really upfront and honest with people. And I tell them right off the bat, like I want to be there to serve them. I think a lot of people bullshit their way out of trying to pay the full price. I'm someone where I have like, I do have a gluten intolerance. I don't have celiac, but like I know a ton of people who do. And I'm also like really intolerant to dairy, but I'm also someone where none of those things ever seem to bother me with shakeout. I always will tell them, if you have a legit allergy to these things, I would definitely run it by like your doctor or a nutritionist. And I also always tell them too, like guys, doctors take one nutrition class the entire time that they're in med school. So like chances are the doctor isn't even going to know if like any ingredients in Shake or Energize are, you know, harmful for them or not. Always tell them, you know, if they're concerned to always reach out to their doctor and their nutritionist, like whoever it is that they seek out advice. If it is a real allergy, I don't feel like we should ever exclude people from being in our groups. If they have a genuine allergy, you know, get them set up with BOD. I have to imagine that like people aren't allergic to anything in Energize. Like there's really nothing in it. So you could always like say, hey, you know, you can still do Energize. At the end of the day, it's all about serving people and being a part of changing their lives. You never know, like that person, like they could do BOD for an entire year, and then maybe in a year from now we come out with vegan beach bars. That was a huge one for, you know, people loved beach bars, but they weren't vegan. You never know what products we're going to come out with, and you never know like when that person that you're serving like might be ready to take the plunge or might have a product that they can use. So if they really do have an allergy, still serve them, get them set up with Beachbody on demand. Even if you're not getting successful points from it, if they could have beach bars, get them set up on the beach bars, or, you know, have them do the 3 combo pack of beach bars to get successful points for that. You could get, you know, 1 successful point for like combining 90p VHD worth of product, even if it's not Shaco or the Performance line. So yes, or products that like TV Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix. But don't discount them just because they're not going to get you successful points. Everyone deserves to be helped. Everyone deserves to be a part of a community, and you never know, that person can be your next top coach. And, you know, just by you showing up for them, you can change their life and they can change millions of other lives. So that's how I always view that. Next question was, so Cassie, the next question was, do you have any nutrition-only clients? How do you serve them?
I don't have any right now, but I have in the past. And so I just put them in my monthly boot camp and check in with them. And because my daily check-ins are made from, I don't know if this is where yours are, Jenna, but I get mine from the Mompreneur, I can't say that word, VA. And so her posts are really easy to make it, even if you don't work out, it's okay. Like I don't really treat them any different and keep them in the same group to keep it simple. But most of my people, because I love working out, I attract people who love to work out. So I don't have a ton of just nutrition only people.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted, but I think it was the male only client question, right?
Oh, I unmuted you and I didn't unmute myself. Yes, it was what about male only clients?
I don't have any.
I actually do have a couple. So I have some husbands that'll join, and honestly, I'll actually message them specifically and I'll say, hey, you know, more than happy to help you, but my challenge group is 99.9% women, and I'm really not, you know, sure if they would be comfortable like having a male posting in the group. I'm more than happy to run it by everyone. 9 times out of 10, the guys are like, I don't want to be in any sort of group. They're like, I just want to, like, I want the program. I want the accountability. Now, if they're joining with their wife, like I had one guy, he ordered through me, and then him and his wife have been doing it together, and the wife wanted to be in the challenge group. So I let her in the challenge group because he wasn't. And I was like, he made a purchase, like whatever. And they both ended up, like, she's already lost like almost 10 pounds, like, and they have messaged me nonstop about like how happy they are, like how like it's like helped them so much. So honestly, like I don't discount. I used to like discount guys for the longest time. You know, maybe like don't get sucked into like randos that are messaging you on Instagram, because there's probably like a hidden reason behind that. But like if it's someone it's a family friend, or like somebody you've been friends with on Facebook, or like from college, and like they're ready to like take the plunge, usually I'll just help them behind the scenes via Facebook Messenger or text message. They love Body Beast, Lift 4, and guys will go all in on those bundles too. They will get like the whole, like the ultimate stack. They want the creatine, they want the recovery, they want the recharge. Like men don't usually care about how shit tastes, they just want to get both. Like literally, so you'll make a good commission off of men usually too. So I say
don't sign them up as a coach, sign them up as a customer.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we also, like, our coach also, so my coach is Holly Hillier, and her husband will sometimes run challenge groups for men. So for people whose husbands want to do stuff like that. Our people all have wives, so we don't run into the problem.
Yeah. I'm in the single moms club, so it's usually people with kids and like ex-baby daddies.
We're in the gay club, so.
Love it. So I think, did we get everyone's questions then?
I think so.
Right before the team call, so I think, cool, we killed it. Awesome sauce. I will get this recording posted for you guys tomorrow. My child is throwing her underwear on my head, so this is a great time to end the call. Training is great, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.